wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the news it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to...
Go time! All right. Yep. Sorry for the delay today, but we are live. We're ready. We've got a good crop of games getting ready that have already started, and we've got some crop of games that are basically getting ready to tip off. So with that being said, we'll go first into the games that are going to be ready to start off. We have got Houston getting ready to battle against here the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies basically coming in 3-5, all kinds of issues on this team. Trying to move Ja Morant, and essentially 7 teams have already kind of told him that no, which is not a great sign for him. He's basically, a lot of teams viewed as a negative asset, which is not a positive thing. But we'll see if he can bounce back here. I like Jared Jackson in this game. I think basically he's going to be able to shoot from the outside. The Houston, when they go to the big lineup, which right now Adams is out tonight, so they definitely won't go to the double big lockup. Jabari Smith is back tonight, but I like Jaren Jackson. He averaged over 24 points versus his team last year. I think he'll be able to get our 18.5. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. And then on the opposite end, this Memphis team basically is kind of not a very good shooting team, which is where I like Sagoon to get his third reboundings in a row over 9.5. So we can get that a relatively small amount of money. So we're going to be on that as well tonight. And then essentially we're going to be looking at Cedric Coward, the rookie coming out of here, has been a tremendous job hitting the offensive glass. If we can bet just offensive rebounds, I would, but I don't know any book that actually gives that to me. So I'm just going to bet Cedric Coward over 4.5. I don't know what my screen's doing. It's finding something in the background. I guess it's finding the column from the fireplace. All right, there we go. I'll just do that. So other than that, we'll look for some options here. I like the Wizards tonight as well. I like them at plus an 11.5. I think there's major issues basically in this Celtic roster, which we've talked about, unless they come out shooting lights out, which right now the only one shooting lights out is Jaylen Brown. Brown's off to a massive start already early in this game with over double-digit points in the first quarter. I'm also technically on the over in this game, so I'm riding this here. I need 60 points. Right now I got 42, not looking too hot. We were at 32 at the 6-minute mark, so we were looking fine, and then we kind of went into a cold spill here. But I've still got 3.5 minutes. Kind of see what's going, see if we can get the 17 points that I need here. Wizards playing with much more bigger pace, and like I said, they've already just figured it out real quick. The Celtics are just too small. As soon as they get the one big in the lineup to basically commit, the other one's wide open for a dunk, as you just saw there from Marvin Bagley the third. But so far I've liked this team. They definitely have some defensive issues late, but good solid rock up. We should be able to hopefully cover this 11.5, and then it's going to be another foul. That's the other thing. We got a lot of fouls already this game. The Wizards are already in the bonus, have been for about 2 minutes. So we'll see. Peyton Pritchard picked up 2 fouls in the first minute and a half. So that's why he's sitting and he's not doing anything for there. Then we've got some of the other games going on. Utah's beating the Pistons. It's early, but they're beating them pretty nicely. Then we've got another 8:30 game, which we'll discuss, and a 9 o'clock and a couple 3 10 o'clocks, and we've got some MAC action going. But I've got nothing on MAC tonight. 3 late hockey games. Hopefully, D will be joining me. Woody College Football will be joining me at 9 o'clock, and we'll go through the college football card. So sit back, sit tight. Should be a good night. We'll see what's going on. Right now we got Cleveland beating up on Philadelphia. Edgecombe and Maxey are barely existing. They each got 4 points in the second quarter. That's not great. Mobley's got 15 points and no rebounds, basically. That's not what I was expecting from him at all tonight. Cam Whitmore, the human dunk sensation. All right, so in Utah, we've got a couple of live bets there, a couple winnable plays. We got Marketing. Marketing is at 12 points. I need 25. Keontae George is at 11. I need 20. So we'll see. We'll see. Ace Bailey is actually up to 5 points at halftime. That's kind of like a big mark for him. He came down. I don't know why they didn't call it. 49-50 here. We've got the Nets and Pacers. I'm kind of surprised that this game is this close. I mean, this is really, if the Pacers, you've got to go out and get this game. Claxton's got 9 points. We need 11.5 points. Been riding Claxton for a while. I've also played his 15 as well. So if you do want to get on that, you can probably get on this 15 right now. He's be able to hit it the last 2 games. We got 31-20 and 1. Little Marvin Bagley showing he still has some game here. Drawing fouls, getting some buckets. Plays so well when he's with the Wizards. Kind of surprising. Then we've got Minnesota and the Knicks in a nice battle. The return of Ant-Man, who only has 2 days. Yeah, it was a long day. It was definitely a long day. I mean, I didn't get my dinner till about 7:15, so I was kind of like, okay, well, I haven't really done a lot of prep, and it's not going to happen. So, and then I pushed back. Then a couple people said, hey, I can come on with you, and I said, okay, I'll come on at 8 o'clock, and we'll take it from there, and we'll kind of see what the rest of the night brings, what we can kind of get on. So, hockey's not till later, so got a little bit of a lull. We go through. I do like Houston to win the game, but I'm not sure 7.5 is there. Jalen Duran is on fire. He is playing tremendously. Kind of wondered how he was going to do versus Nurkic, but I mean, he's got 18-10, and you got to remember the other night we were taking him live for like 23, 24. That all hit easily, so it might be something we want to look at again tonight. Oh, let's have a jump ball here at 55. This is going to be close, guys. We need 5 points. Come on, Cam. Keep fighting. Duran's got a double-double at halftime, but Nurkic has got 11 rebounds too, so it's not like Nurkic is having a terrible game either. What can we get on Jalen live? How bad is it? I mean, if they're asking for 30, I'm not going to get 30, but let's see what they're asking for. So from a rebound perspective, with him having 10, they're probably going to ask for 14 or 15, would be my guess. 15.5, and they juiced it. Not what we want to see. All right, Celtics got it here. Come on, we need some baskets here. We need 5 points, guys. Josh Minot for 3. It worked. Completely shocked he hit that, but okay. All right, we need 2 points in 50 seconds. You got to go towards the basket, guys. Come on. Come on, Kispert. Kispert's going to shoot a long 3, and he's going to brick that. But Bagley's going to get the rebound. He's going to get the layup, cash the first quarter. Over 59.5. The winnable comes through early. We'll take that. Always nice to cash a winnable early. So, all right, let's see what we've got for points. Duran, we talked about 15.5 on the rebounding front. Not really interested in that. Market is right at 24.5, which is pre-flop. Duran's at 26.5. I do like that. Let's just see if we can find it somewhere else where it's not as juiced. Or I'll have to take it with the Broncos, and then I can get plus 110. All right, I'll do that. I'll take Jalen Duran. It's 27 points. He's got 18. He's not in foul trouble, it looks like. So. Got a little bit of a heater. Looks like he's matching up, so we'll take Duran at 27 here. I've taken him with the Broncos just because I don't like to pay minus 125 juice. So it's not the worst juice in the world, but I'm not a big fan of juice. I could just take that with the Broncos money line and have some stuff already for that. All right. So that's the only thing I kind of like in that game. But I am surprised the Sixers, with guys playing as bad as they are kind of still in this game. It's 58-63. You did get Darius Garland back. It was his first game back. Kind of how that will mesh in with the Cavs is interesting. Top to bottom, when Garland's in, they probably have the best lineup. Besides maybe the Knicks can be the only question. That's where Pistons for plus 4.5 hammers. That was a good call. Definitely got to be happy with that. This Utah team is pesky, though. Don't give up on Utah just because they're. All right, so Claxton's got 10. We need 11.5 to cash. We're looking pretty good there. What's kind of interesting, Terrence Mann got the start tonight for the Nets, which is kind of interesting, and he's in double digits already. He's having a nice night already. Yeah, you can take it with the Cleveland money line if you want to get paid today. I don't have a problem getting paid tomorrow. But yeah, whatever floats your boat with that. I mean, it's just a question whether you want to pay. I mean, like I said, paying the juice is not the worst thing either in that situation. So it's not like it's a minus 140. So. I got some extra money already with this whiz already. I am trying to look at some of the other games right now. I'm going to turn off the Utah game here so I can stop watching the dancers. Let's watch this. Turn on this multi-view. Bam. What are we going to watch? Yeah, watch the Nets game. Oh. Wizards did a great job on the offensive glass in that first half, which is what they should. This is what I keep saying. This Celtics team is just a flawed team. I was even talking to a lifetime Celtics person, and she agreed with me. She was like, yeah, my husband and I were saying the same thing. It's like, I don't know what they were thinking. It's like, they just decided we're just not going to have any bigs. So, and you can say, okay, Josh Minot. I've been taking Josh Minot every game for 5.5 rebounds. And he's hit it. Every game he's there. So, but 5.5 rebounds is not a big. Neemias Queta is not a big. Garza is probably the closest thing they have to a true big. And it'll work when they play these small ball lineups. SAR 20 plus PRA, yeah, that's looking really nice. I mean, they have no answer for SAR. SAR can he's covering the offensive glass. That's just a terrible pass there by Trey Johnson. This is the one thing sometimes I have to watch with this Wizards team. They can score, but man, there are times they just go. They're a great play by Keyshawn George with a hoop and the foul there. I love me some Keyshawn George. But the stupid guy in my league won't trade me him. I've offered several different offers for him, and he will not trade me Keyshawn George. I've offered some massive offers, too, and I still can't get anything from him. So, Randall's off to a nice start with Edwards returning, 11 points, 2 assists. He is actually passing the ball a little bit more than it's needed. Let's see, Mikal Bridges, they finally lucked on, if you haven't noticed. We were betting the 2 threes for a while. But this is the problem sometimes with NBA prop bets. They adjust those numbers so quickly versus the NFL sometimes that it's just kind of like they know that's really what the number should be, but they know if they just slightly increase it, you're still going to bet it. So, yeah. Bridges was at minus 166 for 2 threes. He should only be 2 threes. It's not like he's hitting 4 or 5 where you should be moving that up. But they don't want people to bet it, even though he only hits 2. So they made it minus 166 to try to get people to stop betting it. Which I think is such a shame. I mean, that's what the numbers should be. The statistics, the analytics, they all basically should show you that this would be 2 threes a night is where Mikal Bridges should be at. Shouldn't have to overpay for that because they adjust things so quickly. Sagoon's got 2 rebounds already, so that's good. Rockets are up 10-5. Start the game. Morant's hit a 3. Kind of shocking for him. Definitely has not been great from long range. All right, let's discuss this 8:30 game. We got the Pelicans and the Mavs. Pelicans coming off their first win of the season because Charlotte shit the bed at the end of the game. Despite Derek Queen throwing the ball away 3 times consecutively in the last minute on a 1-point game, Charlotte, who was up by 8, somehow loses the game. At one point, they were up by 17. So we look at the lineups today. Jamal Fears is still basically going to start a point guard. Really hasn't been doing that much. The big moves that they've been making is Saddiq Bey. Saddiq Bey moving in, what we talked about a couple weeks ago, into the starting lineup. Really liked him when he was on Detroit. Went to the Wizards, obviously sat out the whole year. They're coming off a great game for Charlotte, which he started. He had 17. We're giving him an 11.5. You're going to have Max Christie basically guard him for the most part. Dallas does have Mr. Gafford back, and the minutes have started to increase for Mr. Gafford. Still hasn't had the tremendous production consistently that I like to play when I'm at Gafford. Also, I used to play him at 7.5. I've now got to play him at 12.5 points. Not exactly what I want to do. Cooper Flagg coming off one of his best games about 2 nights ago. They've really jacked his points up to 17.5. Even though he hasn't hit 17.5 once in the last 5 games. So, again, why the books are so scared, they're going to sit there and give us a 17.5 and see if people are going to take it. Yep. Nylander scores 1-1. Toronto ties it. Nice. Deal keep us up to date on the hockey. He's has hit 2 straight games where he's hit 2 threes. He's going to have a chance to hit the 3s again tonight. That's kind of what I like for Flagg. I think I'll have that. I'm not betting 17.5 with Cooper Flagg. He's only hit it 1 time all year, and that was a game where nobody played. So, not really stoked about going in on really anything for Cooper Flagg. If I would, it would be the 3-pointers just to see if he can do it again for the 3rd game in a row. The volume should be there for him to be able to hit that. Trey Murphy stats is something I've been playing there, but they've jacked this up 2 points. We're now over the 19.5. We've moved into the 20.5 mark. That is a difference. And they only did it because he hit 21. But he hit 21 and he hit 16 at the half. So kind of shows you really how quickly he can just fall apart in the games. But what I really like with Trey Murphy is his 3-point shot is still lightning go. So I'm going to take Trey Murphy over 2.5 threes. Shop around, see what the best number you can get. Right now I'm finding minus 130. I'm going to go check MGM. But I like he's coming off 2 straight games where he had 5 in a row. 3 straight games where he had 5 in a row. I'm going to nibble the 4 well. I can get that plus 190. So that'll offset some of the juice that I'm playing on the 3. So I'm going to take that for a half unit for the 4, and I'm going to take that for a full unit for the 3 made 3s. Why are the Warriors dogs tonight? Do you want to know? You mean you don't know your own team? You don't know your own team is basically not playing Stephen Curry? And Butler got hurt, so it's Kuminga and Podziemski to the rescue? So that's why. Butler's out. Curry's out. Still one guy also questionable as well. So Moody will start for Butler. Podziemski will start at the point guard. Should be a heavy Kuminga game. Pod should have a really nice game. Your whole fantasy team is injured in your league. Okay, then make a trade. I think I offered you a trade too. I didn't see any response. We got to at least discuss things. Yeah, it happens in basketball a lot. That's why you get 3 IR positions. Most sports don't give you 3 IR positions. We decided after year 1 to go to 3 because it was just, there were times where it was like 18 guys are out. And you got to remember, they also do they mark them out, which is different than other leagues there for rest and time management or all that crap. So I'm just trying to make this bet here for Trey Murphy. I'm just looking around to see if I can find this any number a little bit quicker. So I'm checking bet 365 right now. Yeah, they're not even offering the 3 they're trying to get you to bite on the other. Yeah, it's minus 170. FanDuel's got the best number at minus 130 for the over 2.5 threes. So let's add that. Sengun's got 4 rebounds early. Yeah, he's hitting the glass pretty nicely. They just don't have any answer on the other side. So, and again, it's a team that misses enough times. I already took the physique bay, didn't I? Murphy. Oh, I didn't take bay. Yeah, I didn't want to take bay. Dun. Sadiq Bey, we talked about. I'm taking that at 11.5. I'm going to shop around. Where's the points? Sorry, it was just me. I do got to pause to take there. So yeah, I'll take the 11.5. Minus 128 on FanDuel. Again, we talked about if you don't want to take the juice, just take that with Thursday night game. Take that with the other type game. Anything else you like. But I like the minus 128. It's not the worst. So Sadiq Bey to get 12 points. And we move on. I was interested to see what kind of number they were going to give us for Derek Queen. He is coming off a good night where he actually did get double digits, but keep in mind he had 0 points going into the fourth quarter. So he kind of erupted in the fourth quarter. Got most of his points, most of his rebounds. Everything kind of came in that quarter. Can he repeat that? Can he work on that? I would probably be interested in the PRA if I can get a decent number on it. And I was trying to look to see what it was. We bet Derek Queen already on the PRA this year. So they're giving it 19.5. And that's based on that he had 27 last game. I'm not really sure I want to lay that. I am interested kind of in that Max Christie PRA. That looks very interesting. Celtics have taken the lead. This is the Wizards' problems. Kind of go cold. Got a super boost available. Anything on college football? It's 2 MAC games. 2 back games with kind of bad teams. Toledo's your best team of the bunch. They're favored by 14. I think they cover the 14, but I mean, they're up 21-3. So, I mean, now you probably have to play closer to 21.5. So there's not really anything to play on college football right now. We might be able to have something play a little bit later. Sorry, I'm looking at this player prop here for Derek Queen, and Bet365 app just kind of went nuts here. So I didn't get it in. I'm going to play it. I think he does have the matchup, especially versus the bench. Big that Dallas is going to throw at him. And I'm interested in this Max Christie bet. Yeah. Indiana's looking good first half yet. I mean, the game just started at 8 o'clock. It's a nice game. Let me see what I had. Let me go to my sheet. I came into this game thinking the Pacers were going to win this game. They're already up 5. Your pre-flop line, you got to remember, was 6.5. I mean, they're not. That line didn't move at all. Not sure I would jump in at what 8.5 it is right now. I assume. Let me look. I'll verify what it is right now. But I had the Pacers to win this game. I have some parlays closing with Pacers money line from some Champions League action that happened today. Yeah, it's 8.5 right now. The Pacers should be able to cover that, but that's not really anything I want to jump in on. Yep. Cash Randall on the over 1.5 threes. Yeah, Randall's doing well. I mean, they're losing by 7. Nobody else really from Minnesota is doing anything right now. But Randall's only scoring. He's getting no rebounds, no assists. It's not exactly what they need for their power forward. McDaniels is off to a nice game. He's got 7 points. Ant looks like a shell of himself right now. I don't know if he's just kind of going through the motion. Not a lot of pressure that you're looking at right now. So the games are coming out of second half, the halftime right now. Utah and Detroit, close game. Detroit jumped off to the lead, 7-2 run here. We took Durant at 27. It's already added a couple points to that number. Keontae George has scored, which is something some of us really like. That's 13, needs 7 more. Steve Mahalik is having a hell of a game. I will say that the Sixers closed nicely. Maxey got it up to 18. Oubre's got 6. Grimes has got 6. Wofford and Drummond are kind of your other 2 scorers. VJ's 2 for 8. He's having all kinds of troubles today. Mitchell's got 21. Mobley's got 15 and 4. Garland's got 8 points back in his return, 67-170. I'd be interested to see what the total they would put on that, because they just don't play any defense. There's nothing the Sixers do to play in defense, and Cavs will be more than willing to run with them unless they feel threatened. Then they'll let it down, but I don't think they're going to feel threatened. 252 seems pretty easable number for them to be able to hit. I really like that over. Wizards and Celtics, 44-49. 232 is your live total on that one. Let's go check in to see some of how our bets are doing in that game. Alex Sarr's got 12 and 6. He's already got 1 block. If you haven't noticed, he's been a block party all year, averaging over 2 blocks a game. You're still getting that at plus money each night. You should be betting that. Keyshawn George is 9. Those are your 2 scorers, basically. CJ McCollum's just out there running wind sprints. He's got 0 points, missed all 4 shots he's taking. Pritchard's erupted in the second quarter. Had to. He had 2 quick fouls, basically sat out most of the first. Jaylen Brown's got 18 there. Minot does have 8 points, but he has 0 rebounds. There's CJ McCollum, gets on the scoring with an and 1. Here comes the points. Minnesota's taking the lead, a little run here. Randall up to 14. He said all 3 threes. McDaniels has got 10. I forgot to bet him. I'm pissed. Sagoon's got 4 rebounds in the first quarter. That looks good. They're up 26-16. They're kind of coasting. Jaren Jackson has no points, though, which is something we need. Such a Coward's got 2 rebounds already. We need 4.5. So that's off to a nice, good start for the game. I got a parlay in the 76ers Oubre over 1.5 threes. And Siki. I'm assuming that's Cleveland team total over 123.5. Yeah, that's a good number. They should be able to get to that. Got the Nets and Pacers. Their Nets have come out on a nice little run here. 4-0 run here to start the quarter. Plenty of time, though. Clowney gets 2. He's got 6. Wizards got to stop fouling. And their issue right now. All right, we'll take about 10-minute break. We'll catch in and see what's there. Looking at live college basketball. Indiana's up 25-7. That's the game I was going to look at. Sorry. Indiana came in as a 30-point favorite. Kind of thought that line was too high personally. It closed at 39.5. What is the line now? I'd actually be interested in take this with IU, believe me. I just think it's too many points. I am on North Dakota State. That's going to kick off in 30 minutes. I think the wrong team's favored. I like this North Dakota State team. I think they could definitely be able to hang with them. It's got some good games tomorrow. Oh. Yeah, 39.5. I just think that's too many points. I'll take the 41.5. See, Alabama A&M can come back. I only took it small. It's just a start of college basketball. Rick was ejected. Okay. You always cashed his 2 threes. You're cheering on your parlay now. Now you just need Cleveland. Yep. It's good work. Alex got 20 points. Fire. Jordan's got 20 points. We need 7 more. Not a great night for Cunningham. He's only got 6. Not really doing much of anything else. Sar stuck on 12-6. Almost halftime here in the Timberwolves Knicks game. Kind of a high-scoring game for them. My shoulder's killing me. 30-17. Just Memphis getting whitewashed. No, he got 1-3, but he cashes threes props in every game. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been betting him at 15, 16 points. So, yeah, I can see it's 1 for 3. Okay. Must have a goal because I got an assist by Jacob Sherrillian again. Got a tie game. Sixers tied up. Kelly Oubre just cashed your 2 threes. There's the second 3. He's up to 9 points. Oh, we went the wrong way. It still worked out. 3. Jaylen Brown is on one today. He is just on fire. He can't miss. More in the second quarter, 114 points scored. Jalen's got 22. Live total for him is 37. Derek White's got 7. He continually can't get past the 20-point mark until he got the first game. Kata gets inside Keyshawn George, and it's an easy dunk. I do like Peyton Pritchard to get 20 points here. He's got 12 points. I'm interested to watch that, Jermaine, because for a guy who likes to score a lot inside, I wonder how that's going to work with Wemby. I'm looking for Wemby's blocks as soon as I get that. I like the Spurs tonight. No Reeves tonight for them. Couple other guys missing. I'm waiting to see if there's anybody missing for the Spurs. Oh, he should have had that. Yeah, it took Pritchard for 20 points. He just hit a 3, unfortunately. So still don't mind the 21.5 because, again, that's still going to be higher than what I thought he was going to end this quarter with. So I don't have an issue with that. Come on, Wiz. You got to play defense. Play defense or hit some threes here. Either one's going to go. So the Wizards, if you're not aware of this, every game but one, the first quarter is cashed. And every first half but one, the first half is cashed. Even when they moved to 120, 123.5. Yeah, White is, I don't know what's going on with White, whether it's just what he has to do with the offense or stuff. He's just not scoring. We got Pritchard another basket. So that's up to 16. We're up to 24. I might as well dabble on the 25 for Pritchard here tonight. That's asking him to score 4 and 5 a quarter. And with everybody out, he's going to get that chance to score 4 and 5 a quarter. Can't give up threes. 6 seconds to go, Washington. And you give up another basket. And you're down 10. Well, sorry, ends the quarter with 18. Jaylen Brown has 24. And Peyton Pritchard's got 16. So Anthony Simons is, once again, just kind of being on the court right now. He's got 0 points. Minot has double-digit points. That should not happen. Kata has double-digit points. That should not happen. Neither of those guys are great NBA basketball players. All right. So we'll give about 5 more minutes, and we'll discuss Miami versus Denver. I actually really like this game. I think this game's going to be interesting to watch. Cleveland's pushed out a little bit more since Philly tied it. Nice little 7-0 run. Mobley's up to 20-5 now. Jared Allen's finally starting to get in the picture. He's got 12-7. BJ Edgecombe is still out there pushing up bricks. 20 points for Maxey. 9 points for Oubre. Mammoth Gold 2-2. That's nice. Four-point game in the Utah. Let's check in how Durant's doing. Durant's still at 20-15. Damn, that rebound was 15.5. Should have sprinkled that. Cunningham's at least up to double digits now. Claxton's still sitting at 10. I don't know why. Come on, get involved here. Got 10 points here. We need more than 3 shots. 26 points for Michael Porter. Indiana now trails. 18 points for Randall in the first half, 10 points for McDaniels. Let's go look at that game. See what we can do live. Yeah, Castle's been doing a great job rebounding the basketball. And he'll have his chance, especially because the Lakers are going to miss enough shots. Let's look at this. All right, so Bridges has got 7. Towns has got 10. Nothing I like there. What do we have to pay for McDaniels? 17. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, when we look at Castle, it'll be interesting to do what they have to do when De'Aaron Fox comes back. But I kind of thought they're the kind of the same player. Never really understood that trade. For the 9 p.m. slot, it'll be better for the 10 p.m. slot. Yeah, we could come up with something that I like. Again, especially the way the Heat are playing, there's going to be plenty of points scored in this game. Denver's not a very great defensive team. They average over giving up 117 points a game. I love Norman Powell at 20 points. That would be kind of my first pot that he can have. That has kind of moved a little. Yeah, Heat in Denver started 9. Not really sure. The other guy's been rebounding the basketball really nice is actually Jamal Murray. So here, let me see what I can develop here. I like Jamal Murray to get 4 rebounds. He's done it in 4 of the last 5 games. Again, the Heat are going to push pace. They're going to shoot from the outside. You're going to have your chances to be able to do that. We just missed it last time. I don't want to get crazy, but I like Murray to get 4 rebounds. We talked about Powell. I like Powell at 20, so let's take Powell at 15. Look at Castle and what he's got. Powell, that's minus 400. That's not really not going to move the needle. I don't like the matchup of Bam versus Jokic. That's why I kind of want to stay off Bam. He's not one I'm looking to play. We can play Jokic 8 assists. Get a decent number on that. Not too bad. All right, so with those 3 plays, Powell at 15, Murray at 4 rebounds, Jokic at 8 assists, that gives us plus 160. Let's go look at the Spurs-Lakers game. Yeah. Yeah, plenty of long rebounds. All right, so if we look at Castle, let's see what Castle's rebounds are listed at. See if we can get that a little bit down. He's got 3 straight games over 20 points. Has hit 2 threes. His rebounds are 5.5. I wouldn't want to take the 5.5 for the parlay, though I do like it. He has hit it in 4 of the last 5 games. If we get a 5, I'd really like a 5, but they never give us a 5. They never give us the ability to just take an all rebounds. Actually, can we get 5? Yeah, I do love how they do it. Maybe pre-flop again. Okay. I can take the 4.5 alt rebounds for Castle. That gives us a plus 300. How big do we want this thing to go? That's the question. And let's go look at our boy Wemby. Look at Wemby and look at Jokic, Luka, and see what he's got. So I look at Wemby's last couple games. He did only get 9 versus Phoenix, had 18 versus Miami last time, 15 versus Toronto, 14 versus Brooklyn, 11 versus the Pelicans. I think we could safely go for him to get a double. Minus 370. Okay. And then let's look at his blocks. We've already think they're there. He's been averaging, because he had that 1-9 block game, it's kind of skewed. He's averaging over 6 blocks. I like the Spurs tonight, but every time I go against the Lakers, it hasn't proved well. This team's better than I thought, which is sad. I am kind of surprised there's no Reeves tonight and how that kind of moves the offense. Will Luka actually pass the ball is kind of the one question. I have Reeves will pass the ball, so when Luka's out, Reeves does move it. So it's going to be who runs that second unit. As the primary scorer is going to be kind of the question for the Lakers tonight. And the Spurs can sometimes not be able to hit anything. All right, I'm going to take Wemby for 3 blocks. That gives us plus 580. Should we keep going? That's 6 plays. That'd be Castle 4 rebounds, Wemby 10 rebounds, 4.5 rebounds for Castle, 5 rebounds for Castle. Wemby 10 rebounds, Wembanyama 3 blocks, the 3 plays from the Heat game. That's a plus 584. Do we want to keep going, or is that good enough? That's already 6 plays. It's kind of like I kind of want to get a Luka thing in here too. Maybe look at Luka's threes because I don't think he's going to score inside. So Luka's got 4 straight games with double-digit rebounds. Had a triple-double last game coming off. I don't think he gets a triple-double. You can get a minus 310 to get his rebounds. We could take him at 25 points, but that's minus 1,400. That's not going to move the needle. We could take him at 6 rebounds, and that moves it to a plus 67, 8 if we want to be really conservative. That's good. Plus 678. All right, let me post this so we can all ride it. Is that the best thing I like the best? Let me see, what was the other game? I'm not touching anything in the OKC Portland game. That game scares me. The spot wants you to say Portland. The problem is OKC has proven that they don't care about the spot. And back-to-back. Okay, Will Richard will start for Golden State. That's going to be a change. Draymond Green is also out for Golden State now. So no Curry, no Butler, no Draymond Green. Zach LaVine will take a seat, and Sabonis will take a seat for the Kings. So that's called a no-play game. OKC, Holmgren will take a seat as we expected. Caruso will take a seat. Dort will take a seat. Aaron Wiggins will start. And it appears the other Jalen Williams will actually start in this game, but we'll see if that's true by the time game time comes around. All right, I'm gonna take this. Let's take this. Put some money on this. Plus 678. Yeah, we'll do that. Sounds good to me. I don't think there's anything else I like more, so that'll be our parlay of the night. Yeah, I mean, well, you got to remember, getting an Mitchell back, having him play the whole time now gives them that other true scorer. I mean, they're doing this all without Jalen Williams actually playing yet. That's the part that's shocking. But Mitchell's playing well. Wiggins is playing well. SGA is still playing great. And they're getting enough front court space, and teams are not hurting them at all. All right, so we're going to ride the over 3.5 rebounds for Jamal Murray. Powell, 15 points. This is a conservative parlay, but hey, if we hit it, that's all that matters. I would say the one thing I'm probably worried about, if you ask me straight up, in this parlay is probably Luka's 3 blocks. I just he's so good, but I have a feeling that could be the one kicker that kills us. But it is 9 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock, and we've got a guest backstage. So what's up? How you doing?
Hey, it's great to be on again. Excited to talk some college football and yeah, everything's going smooth here.
Yep, we got 8 minutes, so we're gonna give it a little bit of some time here. We're going for a parlay here to be the parlay of the night as we try to just push one through here. So we will get into the college football. Yeah, I mean, again, this Laker team, like I said, I do not have a good handle on it. Gun to my head, I like the Spurs tonight. But we shall see. Kind of have a parlay with them with the Pacers. But I've got the Spurs at 6.5, and I just need the Pacers to actually kind of win this game. All right, we get Claxton. We get the 11.5 from Claxton. Now we just need 3 more for the big, nice payout here of the Claxton 15. We'll see if that goes through. All right, we'll run through the games live real quick, and then we'll move on to college football. VJ Edchrome has decided not to play tonight. He's 2 for 10. Oubre's 3 for 10, but he's got 9 points somehow. Cavs have pushed out to a 12-point lead. Mobley's got 20. Mitchell's got 26. Thoroughly dominating now the Sixers. Pistons have pushed out to a 9-point lead. Markkanen stuck on 12. He's 5 for 17. Not very good. Keontae George stuck on 13. We need that to move. We need 7 more points in this final quarter. Duran, we've talked about, we're looking for 27. He's got 22, so we need a 5-point fourth quarter for him. We're not doing too bad for that. Claxton, we already talked about. We got the 12 we needed. We just need the 15. Pacers are hanging on to a 2-point lead. Sixers and Wizards we've gone through. That's Celtics and Wizards we've gone through. That's a 10-point lead for the Celtics at halftime. 58-54 for the Minnesota. We've got 6 rebounds from Sagoon as they're up 12 right now. So we need 4 more rebounds. We're in the second quarter. Got plenty of time. Looking nice there. Triple J has not figured out where the basket is. He's still throwing a goose egg in there, which is something we don't want. Cedric Coward does have 2 rebounds, but he got those in the first quarter. Would have been nice if he got another one there. We've got a Pelican short lead here on Dallas to start off. Jamal Fears, your league scorer with 5. Bay does have 2. Christie's got 3 points for that. Flag still scoreless, 16-6. And then we talked about we've got Denver and Miami getting ready to kick off. We got Norman Powell for the 20 points in that game. We've got our parlay going, so we'll ride that as well. All right, so let's talk college football. Let's go first. Let's talk firings. How are you doing? Obviously, you've got one game with the new interim coach. And for those who don't know it, he's a huge Florida fan, so much that he moved from Philadelphia to go down to Florida to be across in Jacksonville so he could head up to the Gators every now and then to watch them lose. But yeah, it is available. How do we feel with the interim coach? Do you feel you're going to hang on to your guys, or do you think there's going to be an exodus?
Yeah, so I mean, that I appreciate the introduction there, but nevertheless, I mean, the game versus Georgia was in my backyard, and they teased us just a little bit for it to be close, but I think all things considered, I was pretty happy that they were within a one-score possession of Georgia, so I think that's always a big positive. But I think at this point, I think a lot of people are kind of saying the same thing to yourself in the sense of, hey, how are we going to keep DJ Lagway? How are we going to keep Jaden?
Do you want to keep DJ Lagway?
That's I think with the right guy, I think with the right coaching, I think he can be turned around. But I mean, that's really the $1 million question, because I mean, you have their tradition, you have the facilities now. They're bouncing back in NIL, and it's just more or less of, can the right guy come in? And obviously, it's a whole different question in terms of who I could or should they bring in. But nevertheless, I think at this point you're playing for pride, and you're most importantly playing for the recruits that you may or may not have still, and also the transfer portal too, because I think they're going to be way more aggressive this year than they have been in previous years.
Yeah, I think everyone, to a degree, is involved in the transfer portal, but I think some of that has waned with some of the new rules and some of the stipulations, and you do see a lot of people that are jumping in the portal are being left. Like, the untold story of the transfer portal is there's been 250 scholarship players in the last 2 years that have entered the transfer portal and ended up having to go to a school not on scholarship.
Well, it goes to show, I mean, the grass isn't always greener too. I mean, you can
Correct.
look at some other examples like Malik Murphy, for example. He's at Oregon State now, and he started his career at Texas, and then he was a starter at Duke last year. So, I mean, it's not, sure, you're chasing the payday to some degree too, like, a lot of these players are, but at the same time, you also have to be, deliberate in the decisions that you make in terms of where you're going.
Yeah, but with rev share, is there a payday there anymore?
Well, that's part of the catch 22 is nobody really knows who's getting paid what, because if you're a private school, you don't have to tell anyone anything.
Yeah. So that's been the interesting. I mean, different environment, different NIL group, and I try to tell people, oh, NIL, they've got all the NIL. Well, technically, we're under a different thing. It's not supposed to be NIL anymore, but I still think some of that's happening. I think some of that's happening under the table. Definitely with those things. So, I think it'll be interesting whether Ball stays. Obviously, Eugene Wilson, if I were him, I'd leave. But the one question I always sit there and say is, so let's talk overall SEC. Is this a fallacy with what administrations think? Because they all can't be 10-2. You have a very good league with very good players playing a lot of close games. They all can't win them all, and you can't always go 10-2. And if you're going to get one team that's 10-2, the rest are going to get losses. So I think the SEC is letting good coaches go just because they haven't won. And we're going to have this giant pinball machine or gumball machine, and they're all going to spit out with a new job somewhere else. And then you're just going to end up with the same kind of retread, and you're going to have the same type record year after year because you're just not that next level upper echelon to win. It's the same issue I have with Miami. I don't think Miami's going to go 11-1 ever. I just don't. I think people don't realize the ACC is a little better than people think. And I think if you don't have that coach that just buries people when they can and goes to bury people, that's there versus a guy who comes in and says, oh, we're going to run down the throat We're going to try not to make mistakes. We're going to play good defense, and we're going to win 20-17. You can't continually have the ball go your way every single time for that to happen, especially when you get penalized 12 times. So it's that thought that I wonder if some of these schools are just firing a guy, paying $120 million, $50 million, whatever it might be, and they're going to end up in the same boat in 2 more years with a new guy. It's kind of the same thing that you're seeing in FSU. They won't say it. They won't say it. I see the same thing with Florida. You're not the upper echelon Steve Spurrier college football program anymore. You're a very good football program. You're a top 25 team, but you're not a top 5 team. And you haven't been for a while, and you're not recruiting like you're a top 5 team either. So with that being said, I unless you kind of just get lucky with the right guy, 7-6 is probably what your expected record would be, especially looking at your record. No one was going to win with your record. Ohio State wasn't going to win with that record if you had to play that schedule. That just wasn't going to happen. It's some of this stuff I just think is just blowing my mind that teams are dropping these coaches because they lose a 4-point game. Like you said, okay, we played against Georgia, but let me ask this question. Is Georgia any good? They played a close game versus Tennessee that they barely won, and they needed a missed field goal to do it. Yes, you got your ass kicked by Alabama. You beat Auburn. Great. They don't know how to throw the forward pass, and they've already figured that out and already started playing the backup quarterback. Then who else did they beat? Missouri? No. Who did they beat? Did they beat Texas? Did they play Texas?
Yeah, I mean,
they beat Vandy, I think. I mean, good team, but yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, they play Mississippi State this week. They're going to be on the road versus Starkville. But I mean, you brought up a really good point in the sense that we live in a world now where for good, bad, or indifferent, everybody. Well, I mean, Georgia also beat Ole Miss, by the way. They beat Ole Miss, they beat Auburn, and then they beat Florida. So I mean, there's a couple quality wins.
Me and 11 guys from the YMCA could probably put up 17 points against Ole Miss. Their defense is terrible.
The past couple of weeks, but I mean, Pete Golding is still a quality defensive coordinator, but nevertheless, I mean, you're right though. I mean, you hit on a bunch of good points in the sense that I think this day and age where everybody has an opinion or everybody can articulate their opinion online now, there's so much more pressure, immediate pressure, let's say, and everybody has this expectation that your school needs to be a 10-win team no matter what, when in reality, there's many circumstances where there's nothing wrong with being a 7, 8, 9-win team every year. Let's look at Kentucky, for example. Up recently of 2022, 2023, Kentucky was a pretty consistent winner. And now all of a sudden with the transfer portal and the NIL, now all of a sudden everybody makes it seem like that the 10 years of Mark Stoops of good quality football that Kentucky was able to build all of a sudden doesn't matter anymore. And, you can use that example towards, I would argue Auburn to a degree. Maybe they should have been more patient with Brian Hartson and Hugh Freeze, even though I think you can definitely argue that they weren't necessarily the greatest fits. But nevertheless, I mean, that example that you're talking about isn't not only in the SEC, but I'd also argue in the Big Ten too with James Franklin. I mean, I've said on my show numerous times that I think Penn State is going to turn into the equivalent of what Nebraska's been the past 20 years in terms of them kind of recycling coaches. I mean, you can look at Bo Pelini, Frank Solich, Bill Callahan, all these coaches that didn't work out, and I think Penn State's going to turn into that because they got impatient and all of a sudden thought that snap a finger, a Matt Rule or a Matt Campbell or somebody else could just walk in and pick up the pieces like that, and it doesn't work that way.
No, it definitely doesn't. I mean, obviously the one caveat to the whole thing I'm saying is Cignetti. Cignetti, though, has a system that works, and he's figured it out. And really, as what I've said before, The Big Ten's not built for a guy who can run a really good offense, especially a really good pass offense. They don't have the guys to stop it. They consistently have issues with that. So he comes in there with which is essentially what everyone thought Nebraska was going to do when they got Scott Frost. I don't think they ever got the recruits, and you didn't have the transfer portal where his whole entire team could just turn around and leave and play for UCF the next year, play for Nebraska the next year. But like they do today. So, I mean, he took everybody from James Madison. He took over 17 guys that came with him, and then they went out and they recruited different pieces. And obviously, Fernando Mendoza has been great. But I've watched Fernando Mendoza plenty of times, and I think he's a system guy. He's a guy that I hope to death no team in the NFL drafts, but he's going to get drafted in the first round. But I don't see him as a first-round guy. But they're a very good football team from a college football perspective. Probably second or third right now in the country. I've been very impressed with them. It's been great to bet every week. Minus 20.5. Let's just move on. And he doesn't matter scoring. So this idea that people think he's going to go to Penn State, I don't think has any chance in hell. I think he has 0 legs. So the other question, how does two teams that are 6-2 and one team beat the other straight up, but somehow ends up ranked lower than the other one?
Yeah, I mean, that is a great question.
So what was the point of playing?
Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, this is only the first ranking of the year, so, I think everyone's going to take it with a grain of salt. But, outside of that, I mean, I was pretty satisfied with the rankings that I saw. I think for the most part that they got it right. I'll say this time and time again. I think Notre Dame needs to be held to a higher standard. I think a lot of them I think more often than not, they get a break way too often.
Yeah, but I will say I do think Notre Dame is a better team.
And
I think
to me, if you choose,
I don't know though if I was going to rank them, it would have to be, hey, I beat you straight up. I'm going to be ranked 10, and the next team's going to be ranked 11. It's just to say you stumbled, and I can move you there. But again, that head-to-head has to mean something. It'd be like Georgia being ahead of Alabama, where Georgia's right behind Alabama, but that game was never in doubt. Alabama, they didn't crush them, but they basically cruised to a victory. You never thought in that game Georgia was going to come back and win that game. So them being behind, and Oregon being ranked is hilarious that high, because the only win they have really that you look at is like, ooh, they beat Penn State. But then so has everybody else. But that
Penn State and Northwestern, yeah.
Yeah. I mean
they play a tough Iowa team this week too, so.
Yeah, but that Iowa team can't put up more than 17 points. That's the issue with Iowa. It has been the issue with Iowa for years upon years, and how that's going to change, who knows. So let's talk the big games. What we got this weekend. What do you like? What is your thought process? The nothing really Thursday, nothing really Friday. We'll go right into it on the Saturday games. Indiana, Penn State.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, I mean, I've watched Indiana the past couple weeks. I was really impressed with their win versus Maryland, and they're going to be on the road versus Penn State, a team that really hasn't shown any sort of life whatsoever after the James Franklin firing, and Indiana is just shooting on all cylinders here, and to me this just seems like a game that I think Indiana pretty decisive. That's me.
Agreed. I mean, I already said, Indiana's my wagon. I'm going to ride them, die them for there. I take them. I bought a point to put them at 13.5, but I like them up to 20.5. I don't think they'll have any issues scoring against this team. We've already talked to Georgia, Mississippi State there. Interesting game is that BYU Texas Tech game.
This is definitely the game that's going to be on my calendar in terms of noon. It's going to be on ABC because they're going to be their college game day is going to be there in Lubbock, Texas, which is awesome to see. Big 12 getting some love, and now that Baron Morin is in my opinion completely healthy. LJ Martin, BYU running back, is also expected to play in this game, so I'm really excited in the sense that both these teams are going to be relatively healthy, and I think it's going to be fun in the sense that Texas Tech is, type of offense that shoots on all cylinders, and BYU and Bear Bachmeier, they're just such a well-rounded, complete team. But to me, there's just so much more pressure on BYU because I think when you looked at these initial rankings, BYU was kind of the big question mark in terms of, who have they beaten this year outside of Utah. So to me, if I'm looking at this game, I think this could be a huge game for BYU to say to everybody, hey, we're a legitimate threat this year, because it's the second year in a row that they have started 8-0, and everybody knows how that turned out. So.
Yeah, and you also look at it from a Texas Tech perspective, they've got 2 games after this. That's it. They've already played 9 games. So it's UCF and West Virginia. So a win here, and they're in the Big 12 championship.
Exactly.
That's there. BYU could actually lose this game and still make it because they play Cincinnati 2 weeks after this game. So I am surprised it's 10 points. I think 10 points is a lot of points in this game. But Texas Tech has been really good. I'm not really sure I'd lay the 10, though. I've watched this BYU. My only thing is Brockmeyer is really sometimes, I think, more of just a running quarterback. He can sling it a little bit, but it's primary through the ground. So.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. BYU's defense, Jay Hill and that BYU defense, they're going to have to show up this week. But I think 10 points is really generous too. If I were a bettor, that's I don't think that's one I would pick.
All right, so then we're going to talk the Battle of North Dakota, North Dakota State versus North Dakota.
Yeah, I mean
Any thoughts?
That's always a fun matchup for people who watch the FCS. But I mean, North Dakota State, despite the amount of different coaches that they've had over the years, they've always been pretty consistent on top of the FCS, and definitely give North Dakota some credit as well. I mean, they've always been pretty solid in terms of getting a roster together, this, that, or the other. But I think that North Dakota State's gonna be able to handle that game.
I do think they'll cover the 13.5 as well. They've been kind of the second kind of wagon college football I've been running. All right, we're going to take a pause there. We're just going to look into some of the NBA games that are going to happen here. Obviously, we've got the 3 10 o'clock games, which we kind of discussed there, but we've got some of the other games falling off. We mentioned essentially the Sixers have kind of fallen off, which they have. Oubre's got 12 points. Grimes got 21. They're down 21 now. Mitchell got 42. Allen got the double-double. Cavs are going to walk away with this pretty easily. Nurkic is up to 15 rebounds in this game. Keontae George is at 15. He's got a chance for us to get to the 20, which is what we need. Ace Bailey is having his best game. He's got 9 points. It's a 12-point game. It's not like it's around. Unfortunately, Jalen Duren hasn't scored since then. He's stuck at 22 and 17. As you guys said, we cashed Coward already. Claxton's stuck at 12. He's been sitting on the bench here. Should be able to come back in here pretty shortly. Good game for him overall. He had 12, 7, and 5, but then he also had 3 steals and 2 blocks. As this Pacer team somehow is going to lose to an 0-7 Nets team. It's still 7 minutes to go, but that's kind of the way it's looking right now. Wizards have had a horrible third quarter. They can't make a shot. 8-18 this third quarter. Wizards have dropped down to 20 now. Sarr does have 20 and 6, so if he took his PRA, that cashed without really any chance. Champagny has a nice game. He's got 12 points. Jaylen Brown, we talked about, was having a big game. He's got 35. Pritchard's got 16, so we're not dead there. And Nemes Keita has a double-double. Not something you were expecting. The Knicks got a 8-point lead over the Timberwolves. Randall's got 20. Once again, we talked about Miles Bridges. Mikal Bridges, 2 threes is what his max should be. He's hit his 2 threes. He's got 10 points. OG's got 14 points. OG continues his ability to get 2 steals every game, which he has continued to do that. Rockets are up 60-51. Sagoon's got 7 rebounds, so we only need 3 more. Eamon Thompson is your leading scorer with 18 points. 0 points from Triple J. Not even look like he's attempting shit. He's attempted 1 shot the entire game. So he looks like he's on a walkabout. Somehow this team's only down 7. Pelicans are up 7. Sadiq Bey's got 5 points. We need 12. That's not too bad. Derek Queen, we talked about the 18.5 PRA. He's got 6 and 2. Pretty good for him. Cooper Flagg is your leading scorer for the Mavs. He's got 6 points. Oh, we didn't even see that Klay Thompson was benched. He moved to the bench, and he got 8 points. It's a big game for him. Powell's got 16 points early for the Heat. We've got 2 rebounds from Murray early, so that's good for our parlay. Jokic has 1 assist early. It's still real early. I mean, we're talking 4 minutes in. And we'll discuss the 10 o'clock games in about 20 minutes. All right. Big Hunter's here giving us some anytime touchdowns for tomorrow. Adam Troutman. Bowers. Yeah, Bowers looks fully healthy. It would be something I would definitely ride. I do like that capability there. All right, moving on to the 3:30 Saturday Eastern Time college football games. As we talked about, Syracuse, Miami. Miami is a 28.5-point favorite. Told you all year. I don't care who they're playing. I'm not betting them at 28.5. I'll take the other team. So let's discuss this Oregon-Iowa game. Oregon, number 9 in the country. Iowa, number 20 in the country. Team that basically, again, can't really score. You add Gronkowski from South Dakota. He comes in, but he's only thrown for less than 1,000 yards now in 8 games here. So he's averaging a little bit about 117 yards a game. 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. That's really not moving the needle. Once again, solid run game, but really all the numbers point to Oregon. But 6.5 points seems very small. Almost feels like a trap. Iowa's got outstanding defense, but again, their offense is dreadful. And Oregon actually has a very good defense too that no one talks about.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hit a lot of the big points there. I personally think Georgia versus Mississippi State feels a little bit more of a trap game than Oregon versus Iowa. But, I'm glad Iowa's finally getting some love in the rankings. I've said it on my show a couple of times. I don't think Iowa gets enough credit for the amount of consistency that they have and also just how strong of a defense that they have. But I don't think Mark Gronkowski has been as great as everybody kind of expected. Now, obviously, he doesn't have a lot of weapons to throw to, but I mean, Meltron, their halfback, he has 435 yards on the year. They can get him going and get a couple stops versus Oregon and get some pressure. I think the game could be a little bit closer than people expect, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But I think Oregon's going to be able to run away with it by the fourth quarter.
Okay, interesting. Texas A&M and Mizzou. Has the luster fallen off the Tigers here, coming into this game with basically 2 of their last 3 losses, obviously losing solid teams, Bama and Vanderbilt, but then Auburn took it double overtime, so it should only almost been 3 in a row. Here you get Texas A&M here, who somehow is ranked 3rd in the country. They are undefeated, but again, kind of a question of who have they played. Notre Dame was the closest game they played, highest ranked team. They won by 1 point, if I recall. And LSU, basically, they won pretty big last week there. But should that LSU team even been ranked?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of Texas A&M, I mean, it's worth pointing out, like, hey, Arkansas and Auburn both played them pretty close too. So, I mean, that's definitely worth mentioning too. And I was on the Mizzou train when they played Alabama a couple weeks ago, and that was a really fun game. And I think this game very much has the potential to do that as well. I mean, Ahmad Hardy's is closing in on 1,000 yards rushing this year. Marcel Reed's having a pretty solid year, 17 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Yep.
But I think just the amount of weapons that Texas A&M has, I think, is going to be the ultimate difference maker in this game. I mean, but so I got Texas A&M in this one, but I think Mizzou's gonna keep it close and keep it competitive.
Can the Texas A&M defense stop Hardy? That's the game. It's similar to what I basically said in the Bama game. If they can stop Hardy, Bama's going to run away with it. No issue. If they can't, Missouri can have a chance to stay in it. If Texas A&M can't stop Hardy, I mean, that's really been the Missouri offense. Bo Previlla, you want to sit there and try to make him beat you all day long. It's fine. He turns the ball over enough. Even Reed kind of turns the ball over as well. But I do agree they have too many weapons. I love Craver. Concepcion has really come on basically since week 2. He was great at NC State. Been a very good addition to that team. Are they the third team in the country? I don't think so, but they're a very good football team. I think they'll cover the 6.5 here in Missouri. I think they will be able to find ways to hold down Hardy and kind of advance from there. Auburn, Vanderbilt, I don't understand this line. Yes, it's a new coach is the only reason I have. And then let's North Carolina. We've talked about them. We were on them last week. I gave them out on the money line to beat Syracuse, and they won that easily. Now they're a 7.5-point favorite for Stanford. Stanford obviously came in the year with a 3.5 win total. They technically still haven't hit it. They still got 3 weeks. This is their best chance to get their 3.5 win total. But I do like the way I will give Bill Belichick credit. The team has looked better and better every week I've watched them play. So there is some things that is happening. They're able to run the ball. They're playing defense better. They're doing their assignments more. So, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that too. I mean, especially when you look at North Carolina from the beginning of the year, watching the games versus TCU to UCF versus when I watched the game versus Syracuse last Friday, and then the Friday before that when they played Cal. And I mean, you can definitely tell they've made some adjustments. I think Gio Lopez is kind of coming together a little bit more, and most importantly, you know, they're not missing these big assignments and giving up as many explosive plays. But you know, I like North Carolina here. I think Stanford deserves a lot and Frank Reich, they deserve a lot of credit for, you know, being able to kind of even be in this 3-6 position, especially being able to win 2 games within conference too. So they definitely deserve some credit there. They have some young guys who I think they can build on, and especially now you have Andrew Luck in the picture, and also a big, I think it was a $50 million donation towards their football program. I think this is going to be kind of a rebuild year for them, but I like North Carolina here to pick up another win at Kenan Stadium.
All right, and let's talk about that. We all thought they would be better than this game. FSU comes in at 4-4. Clemson, who I will eat crow for because I was on your show pre-flame and said the ACC is Clemson's to win. No one there. They have all the receivers coming back. Now, I didn't think Klubnik was going to miss 3 weeks, and they basically lost every game that he missed, which I think is a big deal with it. Their defense that has 2 solid top 15 guys being drafted, the rest of them kind of look like crap. But FSU versus Clemson, the end of Dabo Swinney, if they lose this game, which is another game, we'll go back to the earlier coach speak that I said that I don't understand. Yes, you could say, okay, he hasn't got together with the times and the transfer portal, but he did actually bring a couple guys in this year. But you can't. 1 year doesn't determine when the last 6 or 7 were very good. I mean, I don't understand this move that they're going to push Dabo out the door and think that all of a sudden it's going to be greener pastures. But what's your take? FSU versus Clemson. Someone's got to win.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it now too, because, you know, I remember when we were previewing Clemson and that Florida State game was something that was circled on my calendar. And now it feels like it's like who can actually kind of save their season here. Now, you know, I'm sure Clemson fans could comment on this, but, you know, I think the whole like Dabo Swinney being on the hot seat or him getting fired, I think it's a whole lot of nonsense if you ask me. You know, to me, I think Dabo could be there the rest of his life if he wanted to. I think when you've won 2 national championships and you know, brought Clemson up to what they are now compared to what he was there before, you know, to me, I think the stadium should be probably named after him if you ask me.
Well, that's the way it used to be, but then we got Brian Kelly getting fired in LSU, the only champion they've won, and thinking that, hey, it was going to be every year like this, it's just not going to be. And yeah, I don't understand. And yeah, maybe it's your fault for never really bringing in a guy to compete against Klubnik, but he's a guy who continues to show glimpses, but then does something that's like, what on earth were you doing?
Well, that's
Kind
what I
of
mean.
deal.
Everything's so sensationalized too in terms
Yep.
of Brian Kelly and all that too. But in terms of this game, I expect a high scoring game. I think Florida State's going to come out swinging. I think Castellanos and Deuce Robinson and all those different weapons. I think they're going to find ways to score. I think Cade Klubnik's going to have a better game than people expect. So I'd say expect a high scoring game. But I think it's going to come down to who has less turnovers in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Castellanos is the way you beat them is you make him pass. He can't pass. Couldn't pass at BC. Couldn't pass it there. If you just basically make him throw the ball and take away his runs, he's not very effective. But hopefully for another 4 more years of Mike Norvell. That's my hope for every Canes. Hope for the next 4 years is always, yeah. I think Norvell's right around the corner. I think you just need to keep him there for a little bit longer, and maybe you'll have something. So, but no, that's a guy I would have gave up on years ago. I mean, you got lucky when you had Jordan Travis come back for his 5th year, and then that team was good. And then you had the team come back and really kind of beat a down ACC year, and then lost their quarterback, and then yelled and cried because their team was inept without a quarterback. All right, so let's take a break there, and we'll look at the 7:30 games when we come back and get into 10 o'clock games. Cleveland has won this game. It's up 17. Nothing to see here. George is going to have 18 points. He's gonna literally tease me with 18 points. Why'd you do that? So maybe he'll hit an outside late shot here. He generally takes it. Marketing did get his 25 again. Duran got 22 and 22, but boy, did he just stop scoring. Just kept on rebounding the basketball. Pacers have cut it to 5. Claxton's got 14. We need 1 more point from Claxton. Siakam's got 21. Like we talked about, the Wizards have fallen off. Got beat by 12 in the 3rd. Now they're getting beat by 7 in the 4th. Yeah, that's going to be a loss for me. Randall's got 23. McDaniel's got 13. Edwards is finally in double digits now. Towns is about to get a double-double. Sagoon's got 8 rebounds. It's an 8-point game. At least the game's close where he's going to stay in the game. Let's see if we can get this home. Howard, you guys already told me we cash. He's got 5 rebounds. He's 3 and 5 today. Jaren Jackson finally got his first 2 points, but that's probably not going to happen. Bay's got halfway there. He's got 5. And who's the other guy we took in this game? I can't remember. I'll have to look. Oh, Trey Murphy has missed every 3 he's taken. Heater up 22 to 18. Norman Powell's got 11, so halfway there to our 20. We're in the first quarter still. Jokic's got 2 assists. Murray's got 3 rebounds, so that game for us is looking really nicely. If we can get Jokic to get some assists here, that'll go well. All right, so we'll talk to the 7:30 games, then we'll discuss the 10 o'clock basketball games. We got 3 of them to discuss. They're pretty nice games. But we'll finish off the 7:30 late slate of college football. We already hit 2 of the 7 o'clock games. Not a lot of big 7:30 games that you're on. I mean, LSU, Alabama's obviously lost some of its luster here. Got to have a brand new quarterback. You got a brand new coordinator, brand new GM, brand new everything. And I mean, does that release Nussmeier? Does he actually show up to this game versus great Bama defense? Or do you want to talk Florida 3 and 5 or Kentucky 3 and 5?
Well, I mean, I'm sure Nussmeier wishes that he would have went into the draft, but
yeah,
I think Alabama is gonna wipe the floor on LSU. To me, it just they're firing on all cylinders. Ty Simpson would be my Heisman Trophy winner if the season ended today. And
But I think
they just
Mendoza
seem
is
like
going
a
to get it.
complete team right now. And this is coming from someone who was pretty critical of Alabama in the preseason. So they definitely proved me wrong.
Yeah, Simpson's looked great. He's definitely looked great, and I think he's the best quarterback that I would kind of be looking at. But I think Mendoza is going to get the Heisman. I think the numbers that Mendoza is going to put up is so much better than what Simpson's going to, and Simpson had laid an egg the other game, and for that reason, I think it's just going to be there. And again, it's a system. He's playing into what equivalents to it, basically 4 wide receiver set. Let's just throw the ball, and we're going to go up and down the field on you, and we're going to score 30 points a game. And when that happens, you're going to have nice stats. I do love that they don't throw a lot of wide receiver screens. That's the one thing I do like, because we throw way too many. Way too many. It seems like every play was a wide receiver screen. I think
Billy Napier and Pat Shurmur. That's the Billy Napier and Pat Shurmur playbook. There is throwing a bunch of screens.
And it's times when it's fine, but if you have a self-proclaimed great offensive line, it shows me that you're scared. You're scared of your offensive line blocking, so your quarterback can throw the ball downfield, which I was like, okay, well, you've got to be able to throw the ball downfield. You throw in a screen because the defense backs off, and then you get the blocking and you go. But if the defense is all hugging the line, that's not when you want to throw a screen unless you know they're in man coverage. That was a foul. It is sometimes Shannon Dawson yelling at the coach is always what you want to see in the middle of the game. That's really the only 7:30 game. I mean, the other game is Navy Notre Dame. Navy obviously 7-1, but not all records are the same. So, I gotta take a break here. I gotta go to the restroom real quick here. So I'm gonna leave you for a second, and you can talk to them on whatever game you'd like to talk to them, and I'll be right back. Got it.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't expecting this, so I will. I guess I could talk a little bit about the Florida Kentucky game here. I mean, both of them are 3-5 going into Kroger Field. I mean, Kentucky won last week versus Auburn, and the one thing you can say about Kentucky, regardless of their offensive ineptitude, is their defense always shows up to play. And Kroger Field, that's one of those teams where you can never necessarily overlook them, and especially with a Florida team that I think, quite frankly, is definitely more talented than Kentucky in a lot of different ways. But DJ Lightways has kind of been a turnover machine this year. I mean, he's thrown for just shy of 1,700 yards, 10 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Jaden Bowe, I mean, he's had 683 yards this year, over 5 touchdowns. And, with Eugene Wilson being out now, Vernon Brown's been their number 1 target. So, although Florida is favored here, I'm going to be bold here and say I think Kentucky can pull off the upset here in a relatively low-scoring game. So I'd give me Kentucky in that game. But I'd say, another game, too, that's worth mentioning, too, is, Nebraska and UCLA. That game's going to be at 9 o'clock on Fox. And, Dylan Raiola, from the reports I've seen, he's going to be out for the year, which is super unfortunate for Nebraska. But now that they're a 3-loss team, I mean, their college football playoff dreams are essentially over now. So now you're just playing for your recruits and trying to build momentum going into next season, especially considering that now they have Matt Rule signed to an extension. But it's fascinating too. UCLA is actually a 1.5 point favorite in this game, which I don't entirely understand. I get to, you don't have Raiola. I get that Dana Holgorsen's offense has been kind of shaky, but Nebraska's defense has always been relatively solid. And especially with the UCLA team, I mean, Nico has found ways to throw the ball and to be creative. But at the same time, too, UCLA's offensive line is still very questionable at times. I think their wide receiver core doesn't really get open. And their defense is almost like Jekyll and Hyde in terms of which version of it you're going to get. So, but I'll take Nebraska in that game too.
Rob, great job, man.
Yeah,
I just
I
wanted to
appreciate
jump in here. I see the boys here doing their thing. I just wanted to chime in. Want to ask you about this top 25 ranking here, and specifically this release of college football playoffs. Have you had a chance to look at what they're allegedly showing are these college football playoffs, and some of your feedback on some of these teams? I mean, Alabama. What are we looking at here, Rob?
Yeah, I mean, great. Great for you to come on too. Hope you're doing well, and I appreciate
Thanks, man.
the question. I mean, looking at the rankings, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go through every single team, but nevertheless, I mean, I think for the most part, I think they got it right. Again, it's preliminary. You're kind of just getting a flavor in terms of what the committee's actually thinking, because I'm sure you guys know that what the committee actually is going to end up being valuable versus what actually shows up on the screen is two different things. But I mean, I don't really have too many complaints. I think you can probably maybe argue Texas A&M is a little bit higher than people think, depending on what you believe that they've accomplished so far. Big 12 and BYU, they're never going to get as much love just because they don't play as tough of a schedule. And, I told Sean before, I think Notre Dame is ranked way too high in my opinion, but it's going to shuffle itself out, right? Because you got Texas, Oklahoma, Utah, Virginia, all these other teams that are kind of lurking in that 7-2, 8-1 area. Not everybody can win, but to answer your question, I think it's pretty accurate, all things considered.
Rob, how do you feel about that Virginia spot there? Is this I mean, is it just a deficit in the division that they're in there? I mean, they can only play who's in front of you, but at the same time, man, to see these boys ranked where they are, and maybe I'm looking at first time being ranked in the top 25 in the last dozen years or so. Is this an early look on the Cavaliers, or are they real? Are they legit?
Yeah, I mean, especially too when you think about this Virginia team going into this year. I mean, Tony Elliott was on the hot seat, and for a lot of people, and I think in many ways the ACC kind of opened up when Florida State didn't show up like we thought we would. Clemson hasn't. Miami has 2 losses now, so Virginia's kind of taken the ball and run with it. But I think that's probably been the biggest thing is. Virginia's had a lot of close wins this year, so that's probably why they're not getting as much love as people think. But at the end of the day, wins need to matter regardless of who you play. So I'm glad that they are up there at 14. I'd probably argue they should be a little bit higher just because at the end of the day, you're playing in a power conference and only have 1 loss. But
Sean, good. I just dropped myself in. I'm sorry to say that, but
No,
I saw
it's
you
fine.
weren't there, and I saw Rob was jamming. So
Yeah.
I just as a connoisseur of the sport, I wanted to ask what he was involved with here. I see Kent State's up here on Ball State. I see Toledo is just busting up Northern Illinois, but I just wanted to come in and say hi to you boys.
No, it's fine.
And I appreciate what you guys are doing, man. What a great show.
Yeah, I appreciate it. We try to go through. We try to bore anything. Obviously, there's a ton of games in college football, but I do want to take the pause here just because we do have some 10 o'clock games that people are starting to ask me about. So, but yeah, Rob, tell the people where they can find you. Tell them if they want to see more in-depth action. Rob's videos some of them are short, about 20, 30 minutes. Is that out? He has got different guests on for different teams. Check out his YouTube. Rob, you want to tell them where they can find you?
Yeah, you can follow me. I don't use Twitter or X much these days, but follow me on YouTube, Witty CFB College Football, breaking down games, having guests. I mean, it can be pretty short, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, but definitely check me out. And if you enjoy talking ball, definitely leave a comment, and definitely keep supporting Sports Money Network too, because great group of guys here, and very, very knowledgeable and insightful as well.
Yep, appreciate it. Definitely go through. So we've got a couple live plays. We got North Dakota State. They're up 4. We've got them on the +1.5. Like I said, I thought the wrong team was favored in that game. Going through talking about our massive parlay that we got here. Nice little 675. Murray's got his 4 rebounds already, so that's it. Powell's got 14 of his 15 points, and Jokic has got half of his assists right now after the quarter number 1. So we're going to go into the Laker game really watching this because that'll be the chance whether or not we're going to cash this. So going into that game, so let's talk about that game. So first thing we've got let's do the Lakers Spurs game because that's what people want to talk about first.
Let's talk about it. If you don't mind, I hang out for a few minutes and talk about it.
No, it's perfectly fine. So obviously we've got no Austin Reeves tonight, which I still think he's the straw that stirs the drink. It'll be very interesting with Luka there because this is, I think, going to be an outside shooting night here for the Lakers. You got Stephen Castle, Devin Vassell, Champagny, Wembanyama, and Harrison Barnes. So no changes really at all for the Spurs. Luke Cornett is not going to play this game. They do the fabulous freshman, rookie phenom, Dylan Harper is out this game. So that could possibly affect their bench from a Spurs perspective. But let's go through this there. We've already talked about a little bit with our parlay, some of these different plays. Luka's at 35.5. I think Luka's not going to be able to score inside like he has in other games. I really don't. The biggest thing that scares me in this entire game is the Spurs have this ability, especially Wemby, to go 2 for 12. At any given night. At any given night, as good as the shooters those guys are, there's always a night where they just pull up and they can't make anything. Is this the night? So from a Luka perspective, we talked about this earlier. I would be interested in his threes. He had a terrible 3-point shooting versus Miami. You are going to miss Austin Reeves. They're still going to have him, but Miami kind of doubled him a lot. So tried to take away that 3 and they were kind of leaving guys wide open. They were perfectly fine with that. I don't think you're going to get the same thing from the Spurs. I think you're going to have guys try to play him wide up because they know they got Wemby down low if he drives to the basket. Aiden's not going to go sit at the 3-point line. If they do, the Spurs are just going to let him shoot. Not an issue whatsoever. I would get on Luka kind of his rebounds, 4 straight games, over double-digit rebounds. There's a reason his double-double is actually a worse number than just going ahead and take his rebounds.
Dude, I was just going to say that. Good job.
So his rebounds are at -108. His double-doubles at -330.
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me. Because the only way he's going to get over 9.5 rebounds is there. Yes, you could say he could get in the assist, which he did in the last game. He can get an assist. But that was with Austin Reeves. He's going to be passing to guys like Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, Rui Hachimura. I like Hachimura actually in a game, especially when he doesn't have the main guys in there. He generally plays pretty well. But I'd take the rebounds. Over 9.5 is the play for me. I'm taking that for his rebounds and over 9.5 rebounds at -108 for Luka. I'm not taking the points. I think 35.5 is a hell of a lot of points. Now, can he do it? Yes. He's hit it in 3 of the last 5 games. He got over 40. But in 2 of those games, he didn't break 30. So I don't think he scores inside like he has in recent games. I would take the under if I was going to play it, but I don't have enough balls in right now to be able to take an under on Luka. What do you think, Mike?
I like the under in the game, and maybe that makes me sick here, but look, Wembanyama's a guy that you have to respect. He likes to show up against these Lakers. You know, these young guys, they got these big names, and yet he's one of these guys just likes to go out there and score. And so you can get his 43.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's a reasonable number. It's -120. He's got 40 points in the season opener. 6 games against the Lakers, he's got nothing less than 40 points across the board. So why can't we see this guy go out there and fire? And it's a reasonable number. I mean, everyone's talking about Wembanyama MVP. I'm not ready to go there just yet. We're only, Sean? a week into the season, a week and a half or so.
Injuries are going to play, but if he stays
Yeah.
healthy, there's no reason he shouldn't be.
No, but he's definitely on the fast track to get it done. And I do like the Lakers in this spot. A wise man told me, take the Lakers as a dog. Don't get on them as a favorite here. But I just don't know about the Spurs side of things here. Ayton, okay. But look, Hachimura, this guy's in a fucking firecracker. He likes to go out there and fire. We'll see what Bronny James can do as it comes down to it. But I'm inclined to look at. I love that under look. I think the under in the game. I think the Lakers find a way to cash, and I do like Wemby to get the over 43.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been warned. If he does that, it's going to hit our things. My bet for Wemby is I'm taking his over 3.5 blocks. I've been taking Wemby's blocks every single game. Full disclosure, I used to take it at 3, then I took it at 4. He's hit that at 4 the last 5 games. The only game he didn't hit that was Toronto, and that was kind of because they got killed that game, and they just decided they were going to shoot from the outside. They just said none of the guys would go in and take a shot at all versus Wemby. Even the announcers were watching. You'd watch RJ Barrett drive in and then just drive right out to the other side, and they drive back out to the other side. They have scrapers, but sometimes those scrapers can't make any shots. So yeah, I can see that there. It's going to be really, if Luka doesn't score his 35 points, they're not going to get the over. I don't see it, but I like Wemby over 3.5 blocks. That is actually my winnable play.
I like that. I like that blocks play. I was taking him last year over. I mean, it was because he was a rookie, right? It was over 1.5, over 2.5, or whatever. Those were gifts. Absolutely. The guy's 7 feet tall? He's a tree.
Well, he's 7'7" now. He grew 2 inches, which you can clearly see he's grown 2 inches, which is kind of funny to see. But it is definitely one of those things that you look up and you're like, okay, yeah, that's going to be – he's the defensive player of the year unless he gets hurt every year. He should start the season at minus 300, and it basically has an asterisk. If he gets hurt, he's not winning. But that's your only worry, really, from a perspective there. All right, then we're going to go down to another guy we talked about, Stephen Castle. We already are playing him on the rebounds at 5. But I do like him to get 6 rebounds. Once again, we talked about it's going to be long rebounds from the Lakers. They're going to shoot from the outside. If they shoot well, okay, you're not going to get the rebounds. The other times there, Castle's hit over 6 in 4 of the 5 games. We've got him on a parlay at 5, but I have no problem going in at plus 130 and getting him at 6. So I'm doing that as well. So
I like it. I can get down with that. Why not? Let's go. You're the prop connoisseur here of Sports Money Network. So I will tail. With no reservation, of course.
Yep. Just giving out to my winnable guys here for a second. All right. So those are the 2 things that I like in that game. The other guy I really like is Jake LaRavia, but man, they started to really bounce his numbers up. So we were getting him at 4.5. If you remember last week on the rebounds, we can get the 4.5, but instead of getting plus 110 like we got last week, we now have to pay minus 136. So personally, I'm on the over 4.5, but I took it with Denver. I'm not taking it straight up. I've taken it with the Denver money line on Thursday night. So if you're interested in doing that, you can get that number at plus 105.
I don't want to change gears here, but OKC Thunder and the Portland Trailblazers. Did you guys already cover this one? I don't want to backtrack here.
No, we got 3 10:00 games. I was just going in order as they appear in RotoWire. So we already talked about Caruso, Dort, and Holmgren are all out in this game. We thought Jalen Williams is what was reported was going to start. And instead, it's going to be Ajay Mitchell is going to start. So Mitchell and Wiggins will get the start. It's a very interesting lineup for them. Hartenstein, Klingon, will stay in there, and then the traditional normal Portland lineup that you're going to see. So let's look at this game. Let's look at the numbers. Let's see what we have. So now that we know who's in, who's out,
Yep.
let's go talk. Obviously, SGA has been on an absolute tear. I kind of think this game is closer. From a spot perspective, I like Portland. The issue I've already brought up is OKC's 8-0. They've been taking that spot perspective and saying, hey, here, eat this. But what I do like is two things. So if you don't know it, Mitchell has a thigh issue. That's actually why he's been struggling to actually score the last 2 games. So how that's going to appear kind of coming on a back-to-back here, where yes, it's doing well enough for him to start, but I do like that. I do like SGA to get his assist tonight. He's going to have the ball in his hand plenty of times. He's got over 6 assists in 4 of the last 5 games, including 12 versus the Clippers. I think he's still able to pass the ball around in this game, especially with more shooters than he typically has. Typically with Chet Holmgren, yes, Chet Holmgren can shoot from the outside, but he is not a pure catch and shoot shooter. So I think he's going to have even an operation chance to get more assists. You can get the 5.5. You do have to pay the little juice for that. They know that's probably a good take for that. So again, if you want to take that with something you like Thursday night, that's probably what I would do. Take a Brock Bowers, take a little alt number on his receiving yards, anything of that nature is probably a pretty good play. So you can take Bowers at 50 yards, which would be 17 yards off his with the SGA assist, and you can get that at plus 134, which is what I'm going to do. All right. The other guy I've been cashing with, we're going to keep riding it until they really bump the number. And that's one thing I do. I'm known. I say keep riding it until she bucks you.
Of course.
And you've got to look at this because he's getting extra minutes. Is Kason Wallace. We talked about AJ Mitchell's thigh, and since his thigh is hurt, Kason Wallace has gone over his point total in 3 straight games. His total set at 9.5 tonight. You look at his matchup, it's going to be Shaded Sharp, not the world's greatest defender. Good athlete, but not a great defender. Shouldn't be able to keep Kason Wallace from getting to the lane. Wallace should also be able to get his steals versus Shaded Sharp, not the greatest ball handler. So you can get Kason Wallace at 9.5 points. And we took that last night, and we're going to take that again as well. Shouldn't have any issue getting that over the line.
Whoa. Wait. My shit was all messed up. Say that. Who are you thinking?
Kason Wallace for 10 points.
All right. You know I'm not going to miss out. You know I'm not missing out, brother. Let's go. My bad. I wasn't prepared. I had my notes over there for the UFC side of things here. Let's go.
Yeah, so Drew Holiday, if you want to take the 21.5 is actually a point down from his points assist. Before that, it was a wagon. We took it for 4 straight games. It cashed. The Laker game, it did not cash. He only had 14. They kind of fell behind in that game. For that reason, it's not there. His points have kind of diminished the last 2. If you actually look at it, that's also Shaden Sharp's points have gone up. Been a direct factor. Holiday's going to obviously be able to go up against SGA. That's not a great matchup for him. For that reason, if you're wondering, I'm off on Holiday tonight. Nothing I can get to that I can see there. But we are going to look at another name we've been playing and hitting consistently. Jeremy Grant. We've talked about Jeremy Grant every game he's played, He's gone over 16. He's had 16 points or more in every game this season. He's coming off the bench, but he is closing games. So he's on there at the end of the game, which is what you generally need sometimes to close this. His 16 points is what I'm looking at getting. I'm taking that at 15.5. I like that play. Again, he's going to have Aaron Wiggins on it. He's not the greatest defender. He should be able to have, plus we talked about they're missing Caruso. They're missing Dort. Those are not the guys they're going to bring off the bench. It's going to be Barnharzer and guys of that nature. So Jeremy Grant over 15.5 points. The other one we're putting to the window.
I'm going to get a little spot with, are we talking the Suns game here?
That'll be the next one. Yes. Yep.
Oh, sorry. I don't.
No, you're fine. You can talk it. Let's go.
What are you on? Warriors Kings?
who's playing. So we've already went over that. There's so many people. Draymond Green is out.
Sorry.
Stephen Curry's out.
Sorry,
Jeremy
my
Butler's
bad.
out.
I'm so involved with some of this other stuff that's going on.
Zach LaVine is not playing for the Kings. Sabonis is not playing. So Nikkei Clifford, the rookie, is going to start for the Kings with Westbrook and Schroeder. I am interested in some plays for that game. I just got to look at what numbers we're getting.
My bad, dude. Bad.
It's perfectly fine, but it's one of those games I look at right away and go, maybe there's some numbers we could get that will make sense to say, okay, this could be good. But there's a thing where we got to look and go, yeah, I got to see who's playing. So right now I'm trying to see if there's any value on some guys. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just running some alts things.
I was looking at the DeAndre Ayton under 8.5 rebounds. And the reason was this line's been getting steamed to the under. It was minus 115 earlier today. DeAndre Ayton, he's now minus 130 over on DraftKings. So considerable money coming in on this guy going to the under. They average the 5th most rebounds a game, but they got to deal with this Wemby guy. And
that's the thing. With Wemby, every team inside the paint's numbers has drastically reduced over 20% from a shooting percentage and have scored roughly over 14 less points. He just literally takes away that part of the game. Mm-hmm. I agree. Personally, I'm on the Spurs. Mike's on the Lakers. He's already said it. But again, I've been wrong with the Lakers all year. I'm just stating that they're better than what I thought. So,
well, we're back and forth, though. Player props obviously are the nullifier. I think at this early process in the NBA, Sean, you got to look at these player props, right? I think sometimes when you can read how the players offensive and defensively stack up versus where the lines are, it doesn't necessarily matter who's in or who's out. It's more about they can't get the right number on these player props, and we can have that opportunity. It's a soft market, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
It can about that, but it will only be a soft market for so many games. Mm-hmm. So
exactly,
which is what we talked about. So Avdia started the season at 17.5 points. Now he's at 20.5. But that's just a recent adjustment in the last 2 games, and the books are thrown because they know, hey, you've been betting 20, so you're going to bet 21. There's no way he doesn't hit 21. Go back and look at the numbers, and you'll tell you where the numbers aren't there. So one of the greatest things that I use, I don't know if you use it at all, is the VSiN player prop thing that they created this year for you tracking the bet.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because it shows you what the number is. So we look at a guy and we say, hey, that guy's 7-0 to hitting his player prop. But then they show what he would be to what the prop is now in all those games versus what it is today. So yes, because the books sit there and they say, oh, the buzz is on this guy. Yeah, everyone's going to bet this guy. He's 7-0. He hits his prop every night. And then we raise it 2 points, and then you look at it and say,
yeah,
he's 4-3 versus the number that it was now. And you kind of like, okay, the value's not there. And again, it's trying to predict how many minutes they're going to be on the floor because minutes equal points. If people say, okay, it's tough to be an NBA guy. If you're going to get minutes on the floor, you're going to score. The only player ever in history who gets minutes on the floor and doesn't score is Bronny James. He's literally scored 6 points all year, and he's played over 40 minutes. I mean, that's just terrible. Because you watch when guys rest, and they're like, oh, all these guys are resting. It's not like you never will go to game and the team has 50 points because the other guy's rested. No, because it's basketball. It's still just putting the ball through the hoop. And these guys were good in college, and they were good in the G League or whatever. And they can do that as long as the other team doesn't play stout defense on them. And a lot of times they don't because guys are not playing. So I don't like any of these. Like, I'm not taking Kuminga for 24 points. It's
crazy.
It's
a crazy number based on circumstance.
Yeah. Could he have the usage to hit that? Yes. But the probability that he hits that much higher than that many points is crazy. Like, I also laugh when I hear people online when they're like, oh, he's hit his number every time. His number's not 20 points and he hit 20 points. There's not a lot of variance here for him not to hit the number. It's like Keontae George, we lost today. I'll admit but his variance was about 5 or 6 points, and I lost it by 1 point. He had 19 instead of 20.
Oh, and anytime I hear people say, "Oh, he's got it 5 as the last 6, this is a great spot," like that's a fade. When everyone else is saying he's got 5 of his last 6, either they've inflated the line, or where was the line when he got 5 of 6? Was it, if you're looking at points, was it 20.5 and now it's 22.5? Because it might not seem like that big a deal, but you missed the movement, right? You got to take that overnight.
Yeah. And you got to take that. And I will flat out tell you, when I'm telling you he's hit 5 or 6, he's hit 5 out of 6 out of his current number.
Sure.
Not what it is, not what it was. So as long as the usage is there, and there's a lot of things you have to sometimes pay attention with the NBA. Who was hurt? Who didn't play those games?
Right.
Who like you look at the games like
what did the lineup look like?
Yeah, you looked at Minnesota and was like, oh, Ant didn't play. Okay, that's why Randall went off. Now Randall still went off tonight, and McDaniels went off, and it was like, because Ant wasn't there. So those 25, 30 points was missing. Or Austin Reeves is not going to play tonight for the Lakers. So that's going to be very interesting. Right. So the Knicks still end up winning this game by 23.
Beat them up.
Yeah, so the two powers of the East, the Cavs and the Knicks, win easily. Let's check in a little bit on our bet. Powell's got 14. Jokic has now got 5 assists, so he's on his way. For whatever reason, he hasn't rebounded the basketball in the last 2 games. It's been really odd. Like last game he had 4, and this game he has 2.
I'll tell you my heads down moment. I saw him get the triple-double the other day. Julius Randle. I knew he was coming back for revenge. His points. I took his points over 20.5, but God damn, you put up 32 points. I think I missed a ladder, Sean. I missed a ladder opportunity, and it just made. He's done it so many times this season already, but yet he didn't do it last game. They put it at 20.5, and here he is with 32. I don't know what that paid, but damn.
I like Hachimura Hachimura is going to come in this game as the number 2 scorer. So Hachimura, when he was with Washington, would be a consistent 20-point scorer. When he had different times last year, he got up to 15, 16. Now, if you look at his numbers 14.5. He's hit in 4 of his last 5. He hit 28 for Portland. He went off. Now, why did he go off? He made his threes. He played on the ball. It's going to be very interesting. I mean, the number is 14.5. I think his number the previous time was 13.5. I don't remember ever getting a 12.5 because I play Hachimura a lot. Again, this is kind of back to his Wizards days. So I've watched his career there. I actually thought he was going to be pretty good with the Lakers. He does have skill and talent, a lot more than people think. And when those other guys aren't there, he tends to step up. So that's where I could see where Hachimura does get it. I mean, I see it at 14.5. It's worth a nibble. That's all I'm going to do for it because I think it's right out where his points is probably going to be. So, like, I would think a guy like Devin Vassell, if you really want to take like a number. Jeremy Sohan is also supposed to be back for the Spurs tonight. So that's going to be interesting. That'll be his first game of the year. How he plays and see where they kind of stick him. Devin Vassell has been a lights out 3-point shooter in this game. He's got a pretty good chance just because of who's going to guard him, being Marcus Smart and being Hachimura, to get 20 points tonight. So that would be kind of if you want to take a stab at something, and you want some plus money, you can get plus 196 on that. And he's probably going to get really, really close to that. So there, Jake LaRavia. I love Jake LaRavia. He just goes out.
Oh, man, I went to LaRavia ladder the other night there. I thought with everybody out, why not take him up to I think I had 25 points.
Yeah.
Kind of let me down a little bit, but respect.
We've been playing the rebounds a lot for Jake LaRavia. Yeah. He goes after the glass. I mean, I liked his game. I thought he'd be better when he was in Memphis. Really never got the run that he should have got probably in Memphis. They had so many other bodies that are solid players. But, yeah, he's going to get more time because he's going to start tonight. So that'll be very interesting. But, again, Spurs just have those guys that sometimes they show up and sometimes they don't. And that's the thing that hurts. They're like, Vassell would be one. Keldon Johnson would be the other one. I don't know what they're going to do.
Feels like 2/3 don't, 1/3 do, and the time you fade them, they do. At least that's my experience.
And they still go to Wemby sometimes right towards the end, and that's the only chance. So Embiid's allowed in 38% field goal percentage when he's contesting the defender. That's just disgusting.
All right, brother, I'm going to let you get to your thing. I just wanted to drop in, talk about some
problem.
sports
Appreciate
with you
it.
guys, man. I love talking sports here. We just got done with the UFC stuff. So I saw you guys here doing your thing, and I figured I'd drop in and
Sounds good.
Ruin your stream.
No, it's perfectly
Right.
fine. Appreciate it. Yep.
All right, man. I'll see you soon, Sean. Appreciate you. Appreciate
Thank you.
everybody. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button, and we'll see you guys soon.
Yep. That's what I said. If we're winning money tonight, and the way you can show your appreciation is one of three ways. One, hit the smash and like button. That's free. Two, sign up to my winnable. That's free. I have a winnable free and I have a winnable paid. The way I always look at it, I try to give you my highest plays that I'm on for the night on my winnable paid. It's also another way. Some people said, well, I'd like to tip you instead and just do that. I was like, just sign up for my winnable for a month, $9.95. Pretty cheap price compared to some other people's out there. It's just a way to say, hey, appreciate it. Thanks. Or I also have a free Discord, which we are going on, I think 7-8 years now. Bookie Killers. You can see that. You can see that in my Twitter feed. It'll be highlighted there. You can join that for free as well. So, yep. So it's always nice to have Mikey and other guys drop off. Let's check in to see how some of the live games are going. We obviously went through. So the Sagoon, by the way, if you weren't aware, we crushed his rebounds. He got 14 in the fourth quarter, so that wasn't even a question. We hit Sadiq Bey. That got 11.5. We're not going to get Triple J. And Coward just crushed his rebounds. He's at 8. We know we cashed that a long time ago. Murphy's 1 of 6 from 3, so it's not dead, but it's not looking great there. From a Dallas perspective, Max Christie's your only guy really playing. PJ Washington's got a double-double, 15 and 11. Rockets are going to win easily. Celtics won easily. That was kind of the one loss that I've got there. Did we get the SAR blocks? I don't even know. Let's check. Washington. 136 points put up. Yeah, got to do a little better defending. Yeah, we got 3 blocks from SAR. So, again, if you haven't been betting it, you should be betting it. SAR's plus 165 for his blocks. He's averaging over 2 blocks a game right now, 2.14. He's getting 2. He got 3 again tonight. So, again, we talked about betting things that the books haven't caught on yet. That's one of the things the books haven't caught on here. So, Miami, Denver. Denver's up to a short lead, up 4. Powell's got 16. So, there's the 15 points needed for Powell. We already got the Murray rebounds. We got 5 assists from Jokic. If we can get 3 more assists, we're on our way. Well, there's the 6 assists, so now we need 2 more assists, and then we'll just add the Laker game here to cash this plus 675, which we lost. Let's put that back on the chart. So other than that, tell me you guys what you guys like. We've cashed a lot of things as well already tonight, so let's just continue to cash that. We got the blocks. Let's check into North Dakota State. See how they're doing. Triple J is not going to hit. I should have put North Dakota State. North Dakota State is tied at halftime. Okay, we're fine with that. I like our position. Let's see how we did in some of the other college basketball. Indiana won by 47, so they covered the 41. Good for them. Wasn't anything else I'm running except that. We talked about Toronto won 5-3. Columbus and Calgary are 2-1 right now. Be a big win for Calgary. They've started off the season terrible. San Jose, 4 wins has actually been pretty good for them. Playing Seattle here, 6-2-4. We talked about Chicago is playing average soccer, but that's a win for them. So that's an improvement. Toledo, we talked about what's going to kill. We should have took the 21.5. They're up 39. So that's not even game. 3 games getting ready to tip off here. Pelicans, Dallas go back and forth. Let's see if there's anything live we could get on there. Jaquez has got 10 points for Miami off the bench. Jokic got his 8 assists. That's it. By the second quarter, he's going to get a triple-double again today. If you're not aware, he's got 15, 6, and 8. So all the 3 early games, Murray, Powell, and Jokic are done. Now we just got to play the 4 ones in the Laker game. So we can get that and we can get paid and we can find some ways. Maybe we can hedge if we need to. Buy a unit. Hey, we're going to make plus 6.75. I can hedge a unit. I don't have a problem with that. Got an 11-point game for the Rockets. They're pretty much cruising. Amon Thompson's got his number at 22. J.R. Smith got his number at 16. Even Reed Shepherd got his number tonight. Giles only got 13 points. He made that first three and never made another one. Aldama got his number. He's been doing great. 16 points. Got his 12.5. Jaren Jackson went on a walkabout. 4 fouls is kind of the big reason. 5 points, but only 5 shots attempted. Definitely expected more usage. So let me scroll down the chat here and see what you guys are on. Now we're going to see Victor Wembanyama, the future of basketball. You got Clint Capella playing in this game. 20 points for Sadiq Bey. What's Bey's number? It can't be that bad. I really do like Sadiq Bey. I definitely don't trust the Pelicans. They're up 1 and they're plus 3.5. I don't know why. It's nothing on the Mavericks that I would say, ooh, great score. So Bey's got 20. Brandon Williams is probably the one guy that'd be interesting. Flagg's got 10. Christie's got 12. If Brandon Williams closes, I like his number to get 3 points. We've been betting a lot of Brandon Williams. He gets to the free throw line. He closes pretty well late in games. So Bey's at 20. They're giving you a number of 24. 1 second. I got a door that just opened. I'm just going to play the commercial. We've got 40-mile-an-hour winds tonight, so it's we've got 40-mile-an-hour winds tonight, so it's throwing everything all over the place. All right, let's see what we can do. Let's get these blocks early. Come on. Get an 8 or 9 block night. That'd be nice. Marcus Smart is just trying to push Wemby all out. That's where we talked about Luka. We got the rebounds, 9.5. Picks up 1. There's a first rebound by Wemby, too, so that's good. Wemby inside. Oh, he misses the bunny. Gets his own offensive rebound. No foul. Wemby playing the Moses Malone, just tipping on one side of the rebound glass to the other side of the glass. It's interesting. I'll give him 1 rebound. Don't know how. Tipped the ball obviously clearly to the other side and clearly got the rebound on the other side. Who's playing? It's not Aiden. Is it? God, did he shave his head? Did Aiden shave his head? He looks so different. I got Luca over the back here. Smacking Stefan Castle in the mouth. Yeah, my question I worry with Wemby is he hits the ground so much during the game, which that's how you're going to get injured. There's Vassell. Vassell. The only Florida State player I like. Another rebound by Luca. Oh, they tried to throw it to Aiden down low, and he won't even attempt to shoot it. Luca for three. Easy rebound for Wemby. Spurs are up 7-3. Let's go. Like I said, blocks are the only thing I'm worried about, that they don't even attempt to take a shot versus them. And if the Lakers are basically dependent upon Marcus Smart to shoot from the outside in this game, that's not going to go well. All right, so we're at our, what are we reviewing? We're reviewing whether this was a 3 minutes into the game. You couldn't do this on a commercial. That's what doesn't make sense to me. OKC's up 9-1 to start the game. Wiggins has got a 3. Mitchell's got a 3. Kason Wallace, the other player. What we got? Let me add him because I forgot to add him to the banner. What was it? Wallace. 9.5 points. Oh, that's where that's coming from. I do have a problem with reckless closeouts when the guys jump forward. Because I'm like, if the guy didn't jump A to A and he jumps A to B, that should never be a reckless closeout. Because you shouldn't have jumped forward. That's on you for being an idiot. All right. Portland's getting their ass kicked right now early. Big 3 there. Donovan Clingan for 3. There's something you don't see every day. All right. Spurs are scoring at will. If you're watching this game, they're doing whatever they want. Good assist there to Aiden. Really? They waited to see if Luka missed the shot before they blew the foul? Can't believe the Pacers lost. They suck. Luka misses the free throw. All right, we're just kind of watching this game right now, looking for some live options. All right, that's the first block. Wemby just erases that shot by Aiden. There's one block. But that's what we can't do. Wemby, you can't pick up stupid fouls. Come on, Wemby. Get these 3 blocks early. 1 foul for Wemby. 2 rebounds. Luka's got 4 rebounds, by the way. Are we going to be sweating Castle's rebounds? He does have 1. Spurs are scored pretty easily. Champagne just in that corner, just lighting them up. Luka pulls up, doesn't want to challenge Wemby. Sell with a quick 5. Sell misses a wide open 3. Got Jake LaRavia. Doncic with the air ball 3. OKC's up 19-6. Wiggins has got 9 points already. And he's just rolling. Portland having all kinds of issues. 10 points for Will Richard, getting his first start of the year, the rookie out of Florida. Probably should have took his turnovers. Pels up 86-82, 9 minutes to go. Queens up to 10-4. Once again, scoring in that fourth quarter. He gets into the fourth. He starts to actually kind of play. Fogg's got 12-6. PJ's got 15-11. All right. 10:30, we're just going to call it. So let me know if there's anything else you guys want me to talk about. Make sure you hit the like button, like and subscribe. Finally, Portland gets on the board. I need a money prop, lost few units. Okay. What did you lose on? I need a money prop, lost few units. Okay. Let's see what we got live, if there's anything I like based on the game flow I'm watching. Oh, I never worry about cap. If you put caps, I don't care. I'm not a thing that matters about that at all. Need a money prop. Let's see what we got. Let's go look at this one stake game and see what props we got up there. I don't have anything live. I'll be honest with you, the way Will Richards started off this first quarter, him to get 20 points is plus money. We're still in the first quarter. He's starting. They're up 12. He's going to be a guy that's just going to continue to play if this game gets out of hand. Him to get basically 8 points is plus 102. I kind of really like that. That's what I like from a points perspective. Let me look at the rebounds. If there's anything I like. Oh, you lost the JJ and the Duran. Sorry. Yep. We hit the Sagoon. We hit the Sar. We hit the Coward. We should hit the Pal. Yep. Murphy's not doing well. But he's going to fire some things up. Luka's looking pretty good early. Yep. Sorry about that. It happens. A&M. Are we talking basketball or are we talking college football? College football we discussed, and yeah, I like A&M. 6.5 is the last time I saw it, if I'm correct. There's a rebound by Castle. There we go. That's a second. Yeah, that's the play I like. From a money play of what's live right now, I would take Richard to 20 points. They're letting him shoot. He's just has a green light in this game. Yeah, I like A&M minus the 6.5. If that was the line, if I recall. We went through that game, but I did like A&M. I assume we're talking football on Saturday. Versus Mizzou, correct. We talked about whether they could stop Hardy. I think they can. Their defense is pretty good. It's ranked 31st in the country. And if you can stop Hardy, you can stop Mizzou. Sets up to be a very similar game to the Alabama game. I am trying to watch this Mavericks game and see if I should jump on the Mavs here. Reed's a very good player. He can beat you with your legs, but I think what's making Marcel Reed is his two outstanding wide receivers. And Concepcion, great possession guy. He would still also beat you down the field, but he's got great hands. He's a guy they can go to consistently. And then Craver just has track speed, and he can get behind the defense, which makes you basically have to keep the safety back all the time, which makes more avenues for Concepcion and Marshall Reed to run and get out, move the chains that way. So, yeah, do I think they're the number 3 team in the country? No. Do I have them probably in the top 5? Yeah. Again, I think Missouri's really kind of a one-dimensional on offense. You really just have to stop Hardy, and if you can stop Hardy, then you should be able to win the game. I'm going to nibble on Flag to get 2 more rebounds in the last 7 minutes of this game. I can get that at plus 168, but I'm only putting 20 on it. So. Spurs are up 18-10. Controlling this game early. Wemby's got 3 rebounds and 1 block, so that's good. Castle's got 2. Doncic's got 4. It's looking good for our plus 675. Nice pass there by Doncic. Denver's starting to pull away, 80-60. This Pelican game is a great game. 90-86. Back and forth they go. .642 to go. No, that's not what we're looking from the Laker bet. Doncic hurt in the first quarter. Grimacing already. If they get behind in this game, what do? Does he come out? Go get 2 rebounds first, and then come out. That's the one thing when I hate about same-game parlays, when you're sitting there waiting and just hoping the guy doesn't get hurt. Pal's got 18. We need 2 more points for Pal to cash. We've got 25 minutes to go. I like our chances. Yeah. Lakers going inside as soon as Wemby's not in there, and Kelly Olynyk is your rim protector. There's Jeremy Sohan. What is he? Who knows? He's a power forward that can't really shoot. He can pass the ball nicely. I think Vassell thought he was going to get a call. He didn't get the call. 29-16. Wiggins got 12 points, leading scorer. We talked about we didn't really like much of this game except Jeremy Grant. Grant's got 3. So we got a Santos sighting here for the Warriors. They're up 12. Pat Spencer's playing already. Yeah, I like Richard to get 20 points. I think he gets about 24 minutes game, so he's probably got about 3 more stints, about 7 minutes each. 6 to 7. But again, they're kind of up early. If they kind of do put this game away early, he's going to stay on the floor and be your primary scorer. Come on, North Dakota State. You've fallen apart here in the second quarter. 10 more minutes to go to get it together. Mavs need to make a basket. Stuck on 86 here for a while. All right, I'll finish the first quarter. That corner 3 has been money for the Spurs. Been 4 different guys now that have just drilled 3 sitting in that corner. Jokic had 14 assists last game. He's probably going to beat that. As long as Miami can stay attached. There's Nick Smith. If you're not aware of Nick Smith, Nick Smith, the outstanding player that went to Arkansas, kind of busted out last night for over 20 points. His first shot of the night, hits it, continues to stay high. They can get a consistent bench score. That's going to bode really well for the Lakers down the stretch. Jokic's live assist is at 15 right now. I know for a fact he's going to probably get this. Yeah, I tell people all the time, I'm a volume guy, so I can't do anything about if one or two plays doesn't hit. I just believe I'm going to hit more plays than I'm going to lose. All right, so like I said before, hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button. You can go to my Twitter. You can see my winnable tag there for my free, for which I'll have my free one as well as my paid one. If you made money here and you want to tip me, just go ahead and sign up to my winnable. You can sign up to my free Bookie Killers Discord. The link's also right there on my Twitter. Sean's Fox Plays. Other than that, I am out. Hopefully we win this cash to 675 before we go to bed tonight. So.